Okay, this video is going to discuss how to actually format the template. After you've been using this template for a little bit, sometimes it gets kittywampus. Yes, that is a word in Ohio, kittywampus. It gets askew and things are misplaced, or they are not, the headings aren't working, or the table of contents gets messed up, or you need to add a figure, and how do you actually get that in the table of figures. So we're going to go over quite a few things. We're going to go over how to put page numbers in, how to format them if they've gotten messed up, how to format the headings, so for your table of contents. We're going to talk about how to insert a document, which is something you may have to do for an appendix. For example, if you have a PDF or you have a document that you need as an appendix and copy and paste is not working. Okay? I'm going to show you how to take a figure and a table from SPSS output, get it into your paper in the correct APA format, how to put that in your table of tables and table of figures. And I'm also going to show you how to remove extra space that could be in your paper. Okay? So let's start out with page numbers. Now, if you've looked at the template, you will see that the first part of the template has Roman numerals. Okay, so this is actually page 1. Okay, it does not have a page number on it. Okay, so that is important. Okay, and then it goes into Roman numerals until after your table of figures. Okay, and then it does regular page numbers. So how do I know if I'm having trouble with my page numbers? The first thing you need to check is I want you to go up to your home screen and hit this little paragraph. And what it will show is any of the hidden formatting symbols that are used. Okay, so not a big deal. But what you're looking for is right before your introduction section 1, you need to see a section break. Okay, if there isn't a section break there, what you want to do is go up to page layout and hit where it says breaks, and then next page. So you want to put one in if there isn't one there. If there is one there, everything is perfect. Okay, so section break needs to go right before section 1. Okay, once we know that section break is there, then we can go back to home, take that away so we don't have to see that, and then we can make sure our page numbers are correct. Okay, so go up and hit your page numbers. Okay, just click on one. Then you can left or right click and it will allow you to format your page numbers. Okay, so you can see these are correct, but if they weren't, I could change them to normal, whatever I needed to do. Okay, so you go ahead and you put the page numbers in the first section are Roman numerals. Okay, now when you do your header, what will come up is this toolbar. You want to make sure that different first page is clicked, okay, or ticked, or however, if there's a check mark there, because you don't want a page number on the first page. If there is a page number on the first page, just delete it. Okay, as long as you have different first page checked, it won't come back. Okay, all right, so we have that. Okay, now another thing that might be wrong, sometimes this happens, remember everything in APA format has to be Times New Roman. Okay, so if I clicked on this and this did not say Times New Roman, let's say it said Georgia, okay, so it was wrong. Okay, so my page numbers were then in Georgia. Well, I don't want that. Okay, I need it in Times New Roman. So just right click, get that box open, change it to Times New Roman, hit enter, and it will change that for you. Okay, so then I can go ahead and I can close my header and footer for this section. Now I have another section here. Okay, remember we put that section break in, so it is really going to look at this as two different papers. Okay, all right, so same thing here. I can highlight my tape or my actual page numbers, and oh, it is in Georgia here. Well, I don't want that. I want Times New Roman. Okay, so we'll change that. And then this one, I do not want different first page. Okay, I want the same. So we're okay. Right? Alrighty, so we're good. Okay, our page numbers are working perfectly. You want to check them all the way down. Sometimes when you get to the bottom, they will get screwed up. It's no big deal if they do. Just go in, click them, okay? Format page numbers. You can then, if this, let's say this started, we don't want to start at 1, we want to continue from previous, hit OK, and it will keep going, okay? Now I've screwed them up, which is okay. Okay, I can flip it back, start at 1, and hit OK. All right, so we're all good, okay, because it wasn't messed up, so when you try to fix it, it doesn't like it. Okay, so we've learned about page numbers and section break, okay? So the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our table of contents has the correct headings. To do that, okay, what I have to do is I have to go through my paper and tell Word what my headings are. So what I want you to do is I want you to go up to your Home tab, come over here where it says Heading 1. I want you to click Heading 1, okay, and I want you to hit Modify. We're going to tell them every Heading 1 should look like this. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is formatting. Times New Roman. It needs to be 12. Heading 1s are not bolded. Okay, so we don't want it bolded, and we want it automatically that black color. Okay, then we want to go down to Format and Paragraph. We want the heading in the first headings, Heading 1s to be centered, level 1 headings. Okay. We don't want any special indentations. Spacing, we want 0 before. We don't want to add space between paragraphs, and we need double space, not multiple. Okay, then hit OK, and hit OK. Heading 2 is the other one we're going to use, and we're going to modify that. Okay, so Heading 2, what do we want those to look like? Okay, well these are Times New Roman. Oops, Times New Roman. We need it to be, of course, 12 font. This one gets bolded because it's a level 2, automatic. Okay, we want that black color. We want to go down to paragraph again. These are also centered. Okay, no indentation, no space before. We don't want to add space between, and again, double. Okay, then we hit OK and hit OK. All right. Now, what we're going to do is go back to the top of the page, or the paper, and after every single heading, we're going to call it what the heading is. So Section 1, Introduction, that's a Heading 1. Okay. Background, that is a Heading 2. Okay. Review, that's a Heading 2. You're going to have to go through this for the whole thing. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go through this whole thing. That would be extremely boring for you. I'll just go through the, you can see, you don't do anything with limitations, scope, or delimitations. Those do not get put into the template table of contents. Okay, so go through your whole thing. Section 2 is now, that is also a level 1. Okay. All your other bolded headings are level 2s. Okay. Your reference, well, Section 3, sorry, that's a level 1. Okay. All these headings under here, go ahead and keep them. References, level 1. Okay. Tables, figures, level 1. Each appendix needs to be a level 1, heading 1. Okay. If you add an appendix, so I'm going to add an appendix for you guys. This is just add a page. So let's say I'm going to have Appendix C. All I have to do is highlight Appendix C and hit level 1, and it will format it correctly. All right, so let's say I went through my whole paper and I did everything that I needed to do for my table of contents. Okay, next thing I do, okay, update table. Okay, I'm going to update the entire table. Okay, and you will see the table actually updated. Now, there is an error here. Okay, you can see there's things in here. This is part of section 1, and this is many times what happens in your table of contents is, for whatever reason, it gets kittywampus and something is labeled as a heading that shouldn't be. So what I want you to do is, you can see you can control click to go to the link. Okay, I want you to highlight that whole section. I want you to go to references where it says add text, do not show in table of contents. Okay, now we can see that the formatting of this, it is in Times New Roman 12, but it's not double spaced. So let's go ahead and fix that. Okay, and that'll keep that up to date now. Now, if you go back up to your table of contents, update table, update entire table, that will now be gone. Okay, so you can see that that is completely, my table of contents is complete. Everything is in there. It is at the right margins. Okay, perfect. Now, the only thing that's wrong with it, and something that Word doesn't like, is it's not formatted in Times New Roman. So just actually highlight the whole thing, hit Times New Roman. Every time you update it, unfortunately, you have to do that. It doesn't save that formatting. I wish that Word would do that, but it doesn't. Okay, so it will save it when you hit save, but if you update the table, it'll take it back to that old font sometimes. So just check that before you go. All right, so we've done our page numbers, we've done headings. I want to show you next how to remove extra space. Do you see that there is extra white space between there? Everything should just be double spaced. Okay, how do I get that out of there? Well, first of all, let's say, why is it there? Well, when Word updated to this version, for whatever reason, it automatically puts space after a paragraph. Very frustrating. When you hit enter for a new paragraph, automatically does it. You can't stop that, okay? But you can fix it. So highlight where the space is, and then you see where it says remove space after paragraph, just hit remove space after paragraph. So there's extra space here. Just remove space. So you really want to look through your paper, see if there's any extra space. There's none there, none there, okay? But look for that white space and then get rid of it, okay? Because it's just not APA format. So look for that extra white space and just go up to that button and say, you know, remove extra space, okay? All right. Next thing I want to show you how to do is insert a document, okay? Many times for an appendix, you want to just copy and paste something, but it just won't work, okay? For whatever reason, it just won't copy and paste right. So I want to show you how to do it easily that will work, okay? So I want you to go to Insert, and then I want you to go to Object, okay? And then Text from File. Okay, now it's going to ask you to pick a file. Okay, so I am going to go to my removable disk, and I am going to pick a file. Okay, and it's going to be this file. Okay, so you can see this Word, all I did was pick the file. Okay, so let me show you again because it worked. That happened really fast for you guys. Okay, so hit Object, Text from File. Pick your file. Doesn't matter what it is. This is a Word document. Okay, there it is. Okay, if this was a consent or this was permission from the organization that you had in Word that you copied from an email, you can do this with a Word document, a PDF. Okay, anything like that. It's not a difficult thing to do. Just text from file. Then go ahead and find whatever file you want. Okay, let's see if we can find something fun. Okay, let's do a receipt. Okay, I have a receipt for something and it's in a PDF. Okay, so I'll hit a PDF right there. Now it's going to take it a minute because it's got to actually convert it. But you can see, there it is. Okay, there is my actual PDF. Okay, right here. There it is. Okay, right there, perfectly inserted, no issues with it. okay? So much easier than trying to copy and paste. Copy and paste just doesn't always work the way you want it to, okay? All right, so we've inserted the document. Now, I'm going to open a different file for you guys because I want to show you. Okay, this is output from SPSS, okay? I just randomly picked some output. And I want to show you how to take this output and put it in your Word document, in your template, fix it, call it a figure, call it a table, and get your table of table and table of figures to work. Okay, that's a lot of information. Work with me, okay? So, we are going to, this is selected, okay? Okay. I'm going to hit copy. Now, where do I want it in the template? Well, this is section 3, and it would go under sample and setting, because this is age of participants. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit paste. Okay. Now, that is really big, and I don't need it that big. Okay. I mean, heavens to Betsy. That's really large. Okay. So now I have that. All I did was copy and paste it, and I just scrunched it so it wasn't quite so large. And this is actually the age of my participants. Now, this is a figure, and I need to name it that. Okay. So I go to my home tab. Okay. Actually, let's go to reference tab. I'm going to insert a caption. Okay. Make sure this says figure. It does. Figure 1. I'm going to put age of participants. Now, if you see this, figures go below. Okay. So let's hit OK. All right. For whatever reason. There we go. Okay. Need to just get it over here. It needs to go towards the left. Okay, all I did was hit enter for it. Okay, now it is in blue and it's in Georgia. Okay, so Times New Roman. Usually 10 is good for these. Make sure it's in black. Okay, and there you go. There's figure 1. So I've inserted a caption. I've showed you a figure. Okay, now I have to go up here to my list of figures. Here's my list of tables. Here's my list of figures. I'm going to delete this because those aren't correct. And I do not want to have to go back and forth 1,000 times to determine where all my figures are. I want to do this once. I want to be standardized, and I want to be able to update it anytime I want. Okay, so we're going to list our figures. Okay. There it is, figure 1, age of participants. Okay, now, of course, Times New Roman 12. Okay, so it's good. All right, now, it doesn't look like Times New Roman to me. It's not. Okay. Behave little thing. Okay, now, what I want you to see, or what I want you to realize, is this is just like your table of contents. So when you add a new figure into your table, you can just update the table and it'll update the figures. And if you have to move them page to page, you don't have to go back and forth, and try to figure out what page they're on. It's just like the table of contents. It will update for you. Okay, so it is a wonderful, wonderful thing that you don't have to keep going back if figures move. Okay. So as long as you caption the new one, okay, then it will go ahead and caption the new one as figure 2. It'll automatically update that, and then you just go up, update the table, and it's all set. Okay, so or update the big table of figures, and you'll be all set. Okay, so next thing I want to show you how to do is actually tables, because tables are a little bit tricky, because we not only have to copy them and paste them, we have to actually change their format. So this is a Man Whitney U, and this would probably go under major findings. So I'm going to paste that in there. Okay, these are not in APA format. APA format does not allow for this. Okay, so what we're going to do, when you highlight a table, this little table tool design jazz will come up. Okay, what I want you to do when you hit design, okay, you're going to get rid of all borders, okay, at first. We're going to put some back. APA formats, you have a top border, you have a bottom border, and then at the very bottom of your table, you have a bottom border, okay? So you can see all those cross borders aren't there, okay? We don't want that. All right. Now, this is a Mann-Whitney-U test, okay? So, lots of output. So we just do the same thing. First of all, take away all the borders. Okay, now one thing I have not been doing for you guys that I would really suggest when you're doing this is if you have, if you don't have autosave on, make sure you do. Otherwise you are going to cry when you finally get one done and then it doesn't save. So make sure you're saving. I'm not saving to this because this isn't my paper and I don't need it. But you're definitely going to want to make sure that you hit save a whole lot. Okay, the bottom border on this. So you can see, that's all I'm going to do. I don't want to bore you guys with designing of this, but again, design, just get rid of them first. And then bottoms and tops. Okay, that's all you have to do. Now, this right here, we're going to get rid of. Okay. And you would do the same with this. You would actually go ahead, we don't actually need this for our results, so we can delete this whole table, but we do want this. And all I'm doing is hitting delete, you guys. So I'll finish this out real quick so that I can show you how to okay, so what we're going to do here is, this is the Mann-Whitney-U table right here. These right here are Mann-Whitney-U. This is the median table. So we have two tables here. Okay, so how do I do a table? I do a table the same way that I did a figure. Okay, so go to reference, insert caption. This is not a figure, so instead of a figure, hit table. Okay, so it's right here, the label. This is table 1. So this is my Mann-Whitney-U. Okay, hit OK. Again, it's not going to be in the right format. We know how to change that. Nice and easy. Times New, oops, I can type 12. And then we want regular. Let's put it at 10. That's too big. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to go down to here. Maybe give myself a little space. Go to references, insert caption. This is table 2. They already knew that for me. Table 2 will be median results. Okay. Alright, so there's table 2. My fingers just do not want to work today. Sorry, guys. Okay, so there's our median results. Okay, so now I have 2 tables. Okay, you can have however many tables you want. Doesn't matter. Just make sure that you caption them like I said. Okay, so we want our list of figures to be on the next page. But when I deleted that, of course, it's going to move. So go up to your list of tables, hit references again. We're going to insert table of figures, okay? But this time, remember, caption label is table, okay? Hit OK, and there are your tables. Nice and pretty. Let's make sure it's Times New Roman. Okay? As you can see now, everything can be updated. Okay? I can update this entire field without having to go find those tables. So caption them so that you can just very quickly update your table of figure, table of tables. Okay? So I hope that this was valuable. I hope that you have a little better idea of how to format your paper.